Hey guys, what's going on? My name's Chopper, and welcome everybody to the video today. What we're going to be looking at are 5 amazing weapon combos to use in PUBG. I've been doing some playing around with weapons that I don't typically run, or things that I wouldn't necessarily put together, and I found some pretty amazing results. And so what we're going to be doing today is looking at these awesome weapon combos and talking about exactly what makes them so great. You know, how the game has changed right now, where the meta is, and why these guns are so effective, and how I recommend you run them. And as always, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to go ahead and drop a thumbs up. It is completely free and it helps me out a lot. Subscribe if you're new to this channel. If you haven't already caught one of my videos and this is your first time here, I want to welcome you and thank you for being here. And we're almost at that goal of 250,000 subscribers, which is still mind-blowing to me. So really, much love to everybody who supports this channel. I cannot thank you enough. And one final thing, as some of you may know, I have a second channel that is now pretty much dedicated for streaming and then doing other content. And a lot of my viewers probably aren't aware that that exists. So if you haven't already subscribed to that second channel, that is linked in the description. And I really appreciate all the support on both of these. But recently, some people have been saying that I push a lot on you guys and I ask for too much at the beginning of videos, but here's the way that I'm thinking about it right now. I don't really like to sell you guys stuff. You know, I don't do a lot of sponsored videos and that kind of thing. You should be able to watch all of my content for free, but the trade-off for that is sometimes I need to be allowed to at least promote this stuff of mine so that I don't have to sell you stuff down the road. This allows me to make content regularly, but without charging you guys anything at all, and you can't have one without the other, so I hope that makes sense and you guys understand that. But anyways, let's go and get right into the video. So ladies and gentlemen, coming in today at the number 5 spot is a really unlikely combo that I never thought I would even put together and talk about, and this is the brand new UMP-45 with the M16. Now, if you guys didn't know, the UMP is changing from the UMP-9 to a different firing weapon. It now fires the same ammo as the Vector used to fire, so this completely changes the weapon, and I think it's for the better. And with the new M16 buff, this is actually a extremely dangerous combo. What's so interesting about the UMP is that I've always felt, ever since I started playing PUBG, that the UMP is one of those guns that's great in its own right, but I would never select it over anything else that's more powerful because there's no reason to do so, right? The UMP, what's great about it is the fact that it hardly has any recoil. It's very easy to shoot it straight, and it's super easy to handle. So if you're new to the game, or if you're just trying to get used to the weapons and get a little bit more variety in your life, which everybody needs in their life from time to time, no doubt, and I think the UMP was phenomenal for that. And the same thing with the M16 is it used to be my angel when this game was very brand new, but it, you know, got nerfed. It was no longer what it used to be, and I fell out of love with it. And that's just kind of what happens. But they've restored it almost to its former glory, but now it doesn't feel as competitive because there's so many other choices in the game that the M16 is kind of drowned out by all the other assault rifles that we have now. But what I've learned is that these two particular weapons work really well together, and I don't know why exactly that is, because the UMP I've had to completely relearn. Since it fires different bullets, this means, you know, you get different travel speeds, and the gun just no longer feels like it used to. It's completely different, and even though it's still technically a UMP, it feels like a brand new gun. So if you haven't played the new UMP yet, and maybe if it's not on your platform just now, just be prepared to get used to a brand new weapon that you already thought you knew. But when you combine this with the M16, it is unbelievably good at medium range. The only thing that you might have a little bit of trouble with is long range, because the M16 can struggle, especially the fact that you can't put an 8x anymore. But if you can get kind of past that and make sure that you keep your engagements anywhere from close to medium range, you probably won't be beaten. It's really, really solid. And so if you're a console player or you're a mobile player and the UMP-45 hasn't come to your platform just yet, I'm telling you, get ready to start practicing, because this is the meta, lads. And it also makes me happy because the M16 was always the throwaway AR for a lot of players, but that's no longer the case anymore. So it feels good to use again, and I appreciate what this patch did for the game. So hopefully you guys are looking forward to just using this combo as well. It's absolutely incredible, and I cannot recommend it strongly enough. Moving along here, and coming in today at the number 4 spot is another extremely dangerous combo. This is the G36C and the M24 sniper rifle. And what's so great about this combo is the fact that they complement each other really well. Now, obviously, the G36 is only on Vikendi, and I think that's a good thing as far as I'm concerned. I don't want this on every map, and I've thought about this a little bit more, and I've realized that some of the fun about playing different maps is the fact that you get these very specific weapons to play within those maps. So if the G36 was on all maps, then, you know, playing Vikendi wouldn't feel as special when you do get to use this weapon. It's a part of what gives each map its own flavor and uniqueness, you know what I mean? So I think that this combo of the G36 and M24 is the most devastating one that you can probably go for as far as common spawns. If you're not going to be looting drops, or if you don't kill anybody that did loot a drop, this is what you want to attain ideally, because Vikendi, with all of its open space, the M24 is the most solid sniper that you can ask for in that situation, and the G36 is great up close and at medium range, and even surprisingly far away. It's pretty obvious that the M4 is like my go-to AR, right? And I think that's the same for a lot of people, but when I'm playing Vikendi, I'll normally choose the G36 because it tends to have longer engagements than most of the maps, and if you have the right attachments and you have a good feel for this weapon, you can laser more than you can with the M4. So, and I think that's a really interesting combination to have, both using the M24 and this laser weapon when used properly. All in all, there's not really a lot of weapons that you couldn't combine with the M24 to make a really like solid weapon combo, you know what I mean? So either way, I think that this is a big choice that you should go with if you're playing Vikendi. M24 is great, and so is the G36. All right, guys, coming in at the number 3 spot is a bit more of a traditional weapon combo, I'd say, and this is the combination of the M416, my favorite assault rifle, I'd say, and the SLR DMR. Now, honestly, big up to the people that are good with the SLR, because I genuinely think this is one of the hardest guns in the game to use, and it's very different as far as like shooting it and getting a feel for it than all the other weapons. I still suck with the SLR. I'll be the first to admit it. But I've seen some people who practice this gun a lot do some absolutely disgusting things to people. It's the SKS, except it has a higher skill ceiling, but if you can like manage to capture that skill ceiling, it'll be paying off way more, and you'll pick up so many more kills. I feel like a lot of the problem with the SLR is the way that the scope bounces and how unpredictable it is, but a lot of people who have put many hours into this gun specifically can control it unbelievably well, and when you combine this with the M4, that is just all around amazing. Like, I really don't think the M4 has many weaknesses. You create an insane combo with these two. And I don't know if it's just me, but for some reason the SLR has felt like significantly more rare lately, and I don't know if that's just because there's, you know, more guns in the game, there's a bigger pool of stuff to choose from, so naturally everything is going to have slightly decreased spawn rates overall. So I don't know if it's that and a combination of it already being rare. I don't know, but I don't get a lot of playtime with this gun. I wish I could more because I want to practice it, and I think it could be amazing, but I strongly recommend this duo if you want to learn a new gun. Attachments for these weapons are also a big play. Like, a fully kitted out M4 is so different to a vanilla M4, and same thing with the SLR. You can't put a grip on it, but like a cheek pad and a compensator, or like even a flash hider, make all the difference. Okay, guys, coming in today at the number 2 spot is the combination of the M249 LMG plus the AWM sniper rifle. Now, you have to be at least kind of lucky to pull one of these. You know, you have to do something, either loot a drop or kill somebody that did loot the drop, and then you take their stuff. But to get both of these weapons requires a ridiculous amount of luck per game. But if you're so lucky to end up pulling both of these in a single match, then it's basically over. You've already won the game. There's really no location and no situation that you don't have the advantage in. Long range, the AWM never gets beat. There's nothing that can outplay it in that regard. And then even up close and medium, since the M249 is quite literally a bullet hose, all you have to do is spray down, and while people have to reload, which they inevitably will if the gunfight lasts long enough, and you won't have to reload because you've got almost quadruple their magazine size, so you're pretty much set there. And also, not to mention, if you end up with both of these weapons, it's pretty likely that you've also got a level 3 helmet and a level 3 vest and everything like that. So you're basically a walking one-man army slash tank slash attack helicopter. And also, something I find pretty special about this combo is that even though, yes, they are airdrop only weapons and that provides a certain rarity to them, I think that these are the most common of the drop weapons. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I just feel like these two probably land the most, and you know, the MK14 probably lands the least in comparison. You know, but either way, I think there's something to be said about one of them is dangerous enough, but if you combine both of these, you're just an unstoppable force. So that has to come at the number 2 spot, but I don't think it's the top combo, and the only reason is because this one is so rare that you're not going to get that many hours or even playtime with it at all. But finally, ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've all been waiting for, the number 1 most amazing combo, and as far as I'm concerned, is the new meta for me in PUBG, is the Beryl M762 plus the Mini 14, and like, I cannot speak highly enough of this. I really think that these two are some of the most underrated guns in the entire game, and I know why people don't like it. Some people don't prefer the Beryl because it kicks a lot, and it's one of those hard to control weapons, but it deletes and it shreds through armor up close, and the thing about it is, it's basically a Groza, and there's a lot of people that are huge fans of the Groza, and it's almost like that, just one that you can find on the ground anyways, and it's a fairly common weapon. And with the Mini 14, it's like an M16 that has faster bullets, and I would argue, after some practice, is easier to get follow-up shots on. And the sole reason I gotta put this up at the number 1 spot is just for the reason that this is the sweatiest, most competitive like weapon set that I could physically put together right now in a game that doesn't have airdrop weapons, right? If we're excluding those, because sometimes you have to, they aren't necessarily reliable, But if you want to talk about common weapons that are going to get you a lot of kills and severely increase your probability of winning, I would strongly recommend this duo. Practice with it because it's not easy to use. It's not as straightforward as some other guns might be. But I'll let you in on a little secret. This is like the secret recipe or the formula for running this combo, because if you don't know what you're doing, it is going to be a very difficult setup to use. But if you know this, it'll be just fine. There's two rules that you need to know. Number one, you need to strike first. The thing about this weapon is, and especially this combo, if you can land your first shot, both of them are going to deal a moderate amount of damage. And if you can get that first strike on, you're already in a, great position to finish off the rest of the fight. But also, and more importantly, you don't want to ever shoot more than 15 or 10 shots at a time with this combo. And the reason for that is because the horizontal recoil starts to kick in, and it gets a little bit difficult to control. So if you can kind of do it in almost controlled bursts and then reposition and readjust after those couple shots, it's going to be so much simpler to use. Like, really, at the end of the day, guys, to use this combo, you got to have the sauce. If you don't have the sauce, then I'm sorry, this probably isn't going to be for you. But the Beryl plus either the Mini 14 Preferred or the QBU, which is almost just as good, is, I think, the way to go in PUBG right now. This is like updated for how the game is currently, and as more guns get added and tweaked and stuff, this list will probably end up changing. But right now, 2019, early in the year, this is absolutely the way to go in my opinion. But let me know down in the comment section, guys, what you think about this list, if you agree with these combos, if you disagree, and let me know what your go-to is for, a weapon combination in this game. Maybe there's a combo that I haven't played that I'm missing out on that you guys know about. If so, please enlighten me. I would really appreciate it. But anyways, guys, drop a like on the video if you enjoyed. I'd appreciate it so much. Subscribe if you are brand new around here. And before you go, make sure you go in the description and subscribe to my second channel as well. And go follow my socials. Everything's down below. Thank you guys so much for watching once again. I appreciate all the support, and I'll see you all on the next live stream or the next video. Have a good one, and peace out.